Remnant 2's second major patch has just come out on August 10th. It contains a number of quality of life and performance fixes, showing that the developers are continuing to listen to the community. There are big changes to armor, a lot of fixes both to game mechanics as well as achievements and progression. So if you've struggled with Remnant 2 for any reason, you'll want to see what's up. The big one for all of us is that they're continuing to optimize the game's performance, which, let's be honest, was far less than stellar on release. In a Souls-like that relies so heavily on perfect timing and iframe evades, every single gain in FPS counts, so we're keen to see how this affects play on older systems. Majorly, they fixed several achievements and difficulty-based rewards which weren't tracking correctly. Simply awkwardly hold your nearest world stone to redeem what you're missing. The next one is massive. All unlocked archetypes are now available in Wallace's inventory. This means that for any new playthrough, you no longer have to go around farming engrams again, allowing far more build diversity early on. The requirement to obtain the Revivalist trait has been reduced, and they've included Very Good Boy. Namue, Bedel, the Drist Replicator, and the Blood Altar now properly keep their items in stock. A huge one for those of us who are into endgame min-maxing, they've finally fixed the damage reduction calculation in advanced stats to, well, basically stop outright lying to us. Multiplayer scaling has been reduced, which means that you'll receive 5% less damage per player in a co-op game. There is now more chance that Cass will spawn her special rewards, and there's an additional 700 milliseconds in vulnerability on a standard revive to give you a little bit more time to get your bearings before the punishment begins again. One which I greatly appreciate, carrying my noob friends through the game, experience gained is now shared across any distance, rather than the previous 40-meter max range, and it's also given to dead teammates too, so they don't feel left out for being bad at the game. A few enemy affixes have been given nerfs, while we've received a buff to Bulwark, now maxing out at a total of 25%. Now here's the really exciting stuff, all the major changes to different armors. Light armor damage reduction has been buffed from 15% to 25%. Medium armor damage reduction buffed from 25% to 30%. Ultra heavy armor damage reduction has been buffed from 45% to 50%. The light armor evade has been increased by 2 iframes, medium armor evade increased by 1 iframe, and the ultra heavy armor neutral evade increased by 1 iframe. The Doggo and Summoner's minions blessedly gain increased health per difficulty, useful for those annoyed by micromanaging their summoner builds. Meanwhile, the Challenger's intimidating presence range has increased from 10 meters to 15 meters. Restriction Cord's damage reduction has gone from 10% to 15%, and the Guardian Ring's range increased from 10 meters to 15 meters. They've also enabled the Mist Step neutral backdash attack, which is great news for you guys chomping at the bit to create Misty Ninja Assassins. Combat flow has been adjusted for the much dreaded Annihilation battle. There are a ton of bug fixes which you can see in detail in the patch notes linked below. Some notable takeaways are that the NPCs in Ward 13 will blessedly no longer transiently suffer from amnesia and run you through the same dialogue loop over and over. Those of you that have been stuck in the game, make note of the progression blockers that have been fixed and see if you can finally advance your playthroughs. One thing I found out is that the Engineer's turrets weren't actually granting experience until this patch, which is utterly insane. Fortunately, it seems the very underperforming Aphelion has received a buff, so let me know if you managed to craft any Mob Destroyer endgame builds around it. I'm also sorry to report that the amazing Enigma's lightning no longer chains through walls and floors, so our favorite OP Mob Destroyer is slowly being brought in line with the rest of the guns. Enigma also no longer ignores enemy resists, which is going to make it far less desirable overall. Finally, we have a handful of miscellaneous and enemy fixes which you can find in the patch notes linked in the description below. Let me know what you make of the new changes, and consider subscribing for more Remnant content. We're still a new channel, so your early support means a ton. I look forward to bringing you lots more Remnant too. Until next time.